Jot these down. These are fallouts from forgetfulness, okay? Fallouts from forgetfulness. I got 4 of them. Just jot them down real quick. I just want you to know what happens when you forget the gospel and its relational realities in your life. First thing that happens is you get a confused identity. Confused identities are a fallout of Christian forgetfulness. Believers who forget their relational realities with God have an immediate impact of confused identities. We stop thinking about ourselves accurately. We start to think of ourselves in the old way that we used to think about what happened to us or what we did or who we are or this other title we have or this other designation that we've been given inside of our life experience. And all those designations and titles, I'm not invalidating them. I'm just saying that when the gospel is foremost and at the front and the memory is going well, we are marked as Christians, as God's people. From every tribe, tongue, and nation, we are God's people. And Christian becomes the adjective before any other noun. When we forget, oh man, we get confused fast with who we are and why we're here and what's the most true thing. Here's the second one. We have compromised insulations. What is the insulation on the Christian's life? Really bad things are happening to the believers. Really bad things are happening in your life as a Christian. What's the insulation? The promises of God, the provisions of God, and the providence of God. Your insulation, your buffer zone is that you have promises and God is faithful to his promises, and you have provisions. God makes things happen for you. He gives you things spiritually. He works toward you. You have provisions and you have providence. God is at work behind the whole thing. He's got something he's doing here. You've got confidence that that's all insulation. And when we lose our memory, the insulation gets compromised. We don't have the promises. They're not on our minds. We don't have his provisions in front of our eyes, and we don't sense his providence providing confidence for us. Here's the third one, conceited independence. We start thinking that we got this. We start thinking that our Christian life is about us. It started with God getting us a rope into the pit, but now it's about us getting our own Christianity done. In fact, there's a whole church that had this problem. It's in Galatians chapter 3. The church of Galatia had this problem. Galatians chapter 3, Paul said, "Oh, foolish Galatians, who's fooled you into thinking that beginning in the spirit, you're now going to be perfected or sanctified in the flesh?" I grew up memorizing that as, "Who has bewitched you?" I used to love that because I watched Bewitched as a kid on Nick at Night. I know that's sorcery and witch, and I get all that. But anyway, bewitched you. Who's fooled you? What fools us is the loss of memory. So we become conceited and independent. Here's the last one. We have calloused interactions. We just get hard. We don't love people. We don't see people as who they really are. We see ourselves in some kind of separate category. We don't recognize that we are beneficiaries. We are sinners who have been forgiven. We are miracles that are walking. We are slaves that have been redeemed. We are inheritors who have been loved, and we are saints who have been satisfied. We see ourselves as some kind of special class. We are angry. We're frustrated. We lash out. We make the main things secondary and secondary things the main things. And the result is we lose our saltiness and potentness in the gospel of Jesus Christ. We don't love people. It's hard to share the gospel with kindness to people that you are furious with and believe that you are better than. So that's just 4. I couldn't come up with any more. I know you can. But can you make them have C's and I's? I don't know. Give it your best shot.